price, just for me. Okay, let me show you what I've been working on. Hey, Buster!
Contact me, State Farm agent Scott Carlson, to create your personal price plan today.
Prices vary by state. Options selected by customer. Availability and eligibility may vary.
Sometimes it's just a whoops, sometimes it's a oh no, and sometimes it's an all-out ah! Whatever it is, J&J Truck and Auto Body can take care of it with traditional methods or paintless dent repair because they are a PPG certified and iCar Gold class shop with ASE certified technicians. Plus, they work with your insurance company, saving you time. J&J Truck and Auto Body, 1513 East Philadelphia.
J&J Truck and Auto Body, 100%.
Ready to be part of something big? Meet the Rapid City Sports Commission, the powerhouse behind sports in Rapid City. The commission focuses on bringing regional and national tournaments, supporting homegrown events, and creating opportunities for our kids. But it's not just games, it's a win-win for all of us. Youth sports fuel our economy. Hosting events in Rapid City means out-of-town families shop, dine, and stay with us, which boosts sales tax revenues too. To get in on the action, visit rcsportscommission.com, where we're all about the hustle.
Building projects can be complex. The risks are great and time is money. Consolidated Construction of Rapid City simplifies the process by being your advocate, guiding you through funding, design, and construction. They manage the players and the schedule and marry the design to your budget so you get the most for your investment. They promise an energizing experience before, during, and after construction. It's not enough that you get a quality building. They pledge you'll experience quality every step of the way. Consolidated Construction. OneCallToBuild.com.
KIMM Rapid City and K294BT Rapid City, the Black Hills Sports Station, 106.7 FM and 1150 AM. Fox Sports Rapid City.
The Broncos today have named the rookie their starting quarterback for Week 1 against the Seahawks. The first-round pick beat out veterans Jarrett Stidham and Zach Wilson for the starting job in Denver. Patriots head coach Gerard Mayo says he'll decide likely by Monday night who his starting quarterback will be. On Sunday, the Patriots will play against the Commanders, and New England will play Jacoby Brissett and Drake May in that game. Browns quarterback Deshaun Watson now may have to miss Saturday's preseason finale against the Seahawks. Watson today limited in practice, missing most of the workout because of a sore arm, while Steelers quarterback Russell Wilson says he'll play in the team's preseason finale against the Lions on Saturday. Nebraska's named true freshman Dylan Raiola is the team's starting quarterback for their opener against UTEP. In baseball, Jesse Winker pinch hit walk-off home run, won it for the Mets over the Orioles 4-3. Red Sox beat the Astros 4-1. White Sox down the Giants 6-2.
It's time for South Dakota's Sports Talk Show. This is the Nate Brown Show, featuring live callers, live interviews, and thought-provoking sports talk. From the biggest national names to the hottest local stories. Welcome to the Nate Brown Show on Fox Sports Rapid City. Here's your host, Nate Brown.
All right, good Wednesday afternoon. Are we ready to go? Yeah, we are ready to go. And it is always a great day in the Black Hills. Say it with me. Here we go. South Dakota Sports Talk Show back and ready. 4 o'clock, and we're live. 106.7 FM, 1150 AM on the radio side. Bring us up, and also stream us anywhere. FoxSportsRapidCity.com. Live stream, brand new online player. If you haven't refreshed it, you've got us there. FoxSportsRapidCity.com. You don't have to miss any of the shows wherever you're at. Also, we're live on X right now, streaming Welcome in Studio on X at Nate Brown Show, and watch us anywhere right there on your phone. Also on YouTube, bring us up, The Nate Brown Show, and stream us live. So a lot of ways to be a part of the action. Here we go. The Nate Brown Show back, and we are brought to you in part by Black Hills Urgent Care, where we go every time. It's not fun when you get sick. You want to get better quicker. Black Hills Urgent Care, convenient, really, really good. Proudly owned by physicians, and they do an outstanding job. Great team at Black Hills Urgent Care to get you better quicker, fast, affordable, convenient. That's what you want. Take the kids in, get them feeling better. If it's that time of year, school started up. Can you believe it? Get into Black Hills Urgent Care if you start feeling sick. 2 locations, Haynes Avenue and Mountain View Road. Check in online before you go. It's easy to do. BHUcare.com. That way you can get right in. BHUcare.com. Black Hills Urgent Care open 7 days a week. The faster way to get better. Wednesday, Nate Brown Show looks great. I've got a brand new guest, an 8-year NFL veteran. Right, he did a great job in the league, played for the Giants, 8 years NFL offensive lineman, and now Fox Sports NFL analyst, Jeff Schwartz. You've heard him quite a bit. Jeff Schwartz, his first appearance on the Nate Brown Show tonight. We'll talk NFL, and he's got some good perspective on things when it comes to preseason and what we're looking at. So Jeff Schwartz tonight, 8-year NFL offensive lineman, now Fox Sports NFL analyst. He'll be joining us live straight ahead from Charlotte. Craig Maddox on from Sioux Falls. East River meets West River. Fun time of year. Let's get into a lot of high school stuff with Craig Maddox from SDPB Sports live from Sioux Falls. We will go to John Bryce. It is week 0 in college football. John Bryce is on tonight, national college football writer, footballscoop.com. Ryan O'Halloran pops in from Bills training camp. Josh Allen was asked some interesting questions today about his contract, where Josh Allen sits with all these money-making contracts. Where does Josh Allen sit, and what does he think of his deal with the Bills? Ryan O'Halloran's there, the Buffalo News, and finally, high school football analyst. Yes, the Nate Brown Show analyst, former head coach, St. Thomas More, longtime head coach for the Cavaliers. He's going to break down some high school football, his take. Wayne Sullivan tonight going to join us live. We'll pop him on throughout the high school football season. Great football mind. Coach Sullivan coming up tonight. So we're packed. Looking good on a Wednesday. The lineup great, packed with great guests. And let's get you on if you want to be a part of it today. The Nate Brown Show studio line, 720-1067. If you want to get in, 720-1067. You can join us there. Same story if you want to text the show, 720-1067. Text the show only on the Barron's Wilson listener text line, provided by Barron's Wilson Funeral Home. We've been proud to partner with them all these years, giving listeners feedback there. Barron's Wilson listener text line, 720-1067. All right. So there's a couple of things that have popped right away here. Couple of things today that have popped. I'm not going to go crazy. We've already hit on this. We're not surprised by it, but I'll start my show with it for a couple of minutes anyway, if I can make it work. Bo Nix is the starter for the Denver Broncos. Are we stunned? Are we surprised? Now, I have to take a little bit of credit. Come on. We were talking to Denver people. We were talking to NFL analysts. We were wondering, well, is it going to be Bo Nix? I said, how long did I say that? I said that months ago when the Broncos picked Bo Nix after that situation, when I calmed down, when I thought rationally. I didn't lose my mind except for that one night in April when they drafted Bo Nix. And then I reflected. You see, I used the 24-hour rule. It's very good in life. You don't go crazy. You don't have to lose your mind on the Nate Brown Show. Give it the 24-hour rule and look at it from a different lens, a different perspective. Get a good night's rest. And so I'm in on the Bo Nix train, and I said he was going to be the starter months ago, and Sean Payton finally made it official today. So Broncos fans, are you ready? Bo Nix starting week 1, Seattle. The Broncos on the road taking on the Seahawks, and here we go, the Bo Nix chapter. Is this the next chapter of great quarterback play for the Broncos, from Elway to Tebow? Hang on. Yes, from Elway to Tebow. Don't hit Tebow. Don't hit Tebow. He did fine. I'm not going to mention Jake the Snake Plummer in there and Brian Greasy. I'm not going to do that. Tebow to the great Brock Osweiler and Paxton Lynch, to the great Trevor Siemian, to the great Case Keenum. Yeah, the list goes on. To the great Russell Wilson. And now, Peyton Manning slipped in there a couple of times. Is this the next chapter for the Broncos to get back a rookie QB, named the starter? Sean Payton goes with Bo Nix. So get ready for the Bo Nix show on the Nate Brown Show. The Bo Nix tea is going to be flowing. The Nix tea. And here's some play on words. How many times am I going to use this throughout the season? Let's Bo. Are you ready? Let's Bo. Oh, I don't want to lose everybody today. I don't want. How about this one? It's time to Bo-leave. Do we? I mean, I got it. Let's move on. I mean, I'm having some fun, so get ready for it. The Let's Bo It's kind of like, let's ride, let's bow, let's ride. We don't want to kill that, do we? That kind of killed Russell before he even started. It's time to Bo leave in Denver. All right, we got it going. So Bo Nix, the starter, not a surprise. Book it. Here we go. And one thing you can all agree on, even if it's not my Bo leave or let's Bo phrases, we can all agree this is going to be very intriguing. And that's what it's all about. Interest. Going to be at an all-time level for me. I'm really interested. It kind of like the Russell Wilson experiment. I was really interested until I saw Nate Hackett in that mess, and things went south from there. So here we go. Broncos Bo Nix starter. The other one, not a surprise. I knew it was going to happen. People were saying, well, what about the other guy who played quite a bit last year? And Heinrich, what about him? The Huskers had to start the number one recruited quarterback to Nebraska in history. The highest ranked quarterback to Nebraska in history is Dylan Raiola. And Dylan Raiola, the freshman, gets the starting nod today from Matt Rule. So the Huskers on that side. Boy, quarterback play here in the region, going to be interesting to watch. You're going to have Bo Nix on Sundays. You're going to have Dylan Raiola on Saturdays. So you had to do it, and I saw that one coming. I knew that they weren't going to go with Heinrich. I mean, it's they finished last year in passing in the Big Ten. They were last by far. I mean, it's been a mess there a little bit, right? So Dylan Raiola, highest rated quarterback to Nebraska. He gets the number one spot. He'll be opening up next weekend as the Huskers host UTEP. All right, so that's in the books. Now let's get to something fun today to start the Nate Brown Show, okay? Something fun. It's not the Bo leave statements anymore. I'll move on. This political environment we're in, we got all these polls. Everybody, this poll and that poll. Okay. I got a sports poll that I find more interesting than the political polls, okay? This is a great sports poll that was done, and it asked everyday Americans like you and me, what is the hardest professional sports feat to accomplish? So this is the poll that came out. What's the hardest professional sports feat to accomplish, and what's the easiest? What do you think's the easiest? I just absolutely love polls like this. So forget the political polls. Let's go to the sports poll that I find so interesting, and let's ask you the question of the day. Let's throw this out tonight. Out of these options, I'm going to give you some options, okay? Because there's a lot on the list here. I'm going to give you some options. What would be the hardest feat out of the Nate Brown Show options right here to accomplish in pro sports? We're talking the hardest accomplishment here in pro sports. And I'm going to kind of relate these as similar. So I'm going to give you some options that are similar. So you tell me, 720-1067. I want to get your read on this. Let's vote in the Nate Brown Show poll. The hardest feat for you to accomplish in professional sports. Here's some options. How about getting a hit in Major League Baseball? Getting a hit in Major League Baseball. You stand in the box. Can you hit a 99-mile-an-hour cheese? Can you hit the cheese? 99. Getting a hit in Major League Baseball. I'm going to put that one out there because some people will tell you getting a hit, hitting a baseball is the hardest thing to do. Think about it. Even the pros who are outstanding, the vision that they have, how they can see the ball, they say getting a hit is the hardest thing to do in pro sports. So I'm going to put that in there. How about scoring a goal in Major League Soccer? Let's say I threw you in with the LA Galaxy, the Colorado Rapids, not the Black Hills Rapids. We tear it up there. Colorado Rapids. Scoring a goal in Major League Soccer. You think that's hard, or you think that's easy? Okay, I'm going to put that in there. That made the list. Scoring a touchdown in the NFL. And no, I'm not going to let you start on the 1 yard line and like as the fullback, and then you have a gaping hole. Because people are saying, "Oh, I could saunter in there. I could lollygag into a touchdown." I'm talking like you're on the 10 yard line. You got to make a touchdown. I'm talking you got to score a touchdown on the 10 yard line with the NFL DBs and linebackers and rush ends chasing you down. That's what I'm talking about, okay? Scoring a TD in the NFL. Or how about this one? Let's go racing. Winning a NASCAR race. We all think we can. Well, I mean, we drove during the Sturgis Rally. It was quite the quite the scene here. We all think we're just great drivers. Just watch everybody out there right now. Hey, careful! Don't honk at them. They're NASCAR drivers. How about winning a NASCAR race? You just turn left, right? That's what the old statement is. Just turn left. You can go so fast, and I would be able to stay in that thing because I'm a great driver. I'm a great driver. So there's some options for you, okay? There's some options for you. I'm going to get into the everyday Americans who think they can do professional sports feats, and I am going to ask you what you say is the hardest on that, okay? That's what I want to know. What do you say is the hardest? There's my options that I'm going to throw out to you. Score a touchdown in the NFL. Score a goal in Major League Soccer, MLS. Get a hit in Major League Baseball. Or win a NASCAR race. I'm not talking about just making it a lap. So win a NASCAR race. Let's see what the everyday Americans say is some of the hardest things to do. This is the new poll out of sports fans. Everyday Americans, professional physical feats that everyday Americans think is really, really hard or they think is easy. Now, let's start out with the hardest thing they think in sports. So this one's the hardest thing Americans think to do in sports. The hardest thing, strike out a batter in the major leagues. They think that's the hardest thing to do. Only 2% of everyday Americans voted that they could do that in this new poll that's out. 2% said they could strike out a batter in Major League Baseball. I actually don't know. I mean, what's harder to strike somebody out or get a hit, actually? I mean, I could throw my arm off. I could tear my rotator cuff and give myself Tommy John surgery after with my elbow. I mean, I would throw some cheese. I would throw some gas. I'm thinking getting a hit. Is getting a hit harder than striking somebody out? The everyday Americans voted in this poll said that's the hardest thing to do in pro sports. Strike out a batter in the major leagues. Second hardest thing to do, they say, this poll that came out, score a goal in the NHL. Well, I do have to agree with that. That's difficult. Scoring a goal in the NHL, first you have to start skating. So I'm out the window on that. I'm just talking personally on that. I'm gone. So I'm out. I can't score a goal in the NHL because I can't even skate down at Main Street Square. It's a nightmare. You would think, I played all these sports. I played basketball, football, baseball. You would think I'd be able to skate. I mean, what is it? I got weak ankles? I mean, is that what it is? It's a sad state of affairs. 3% of everyday Americans say they think they could get a dunk in the NBA. It was very, very difficult. They said 3% say they could get a dunk in the NBA. Here's another one. 3.5% of everyday Americans said they could hit a home run in Major League Baseball. 3.5% of everyday Americans could hit a home run in Major League Baseball. Now, I see some good guys at the softball league. I understand. You guys are players. You could hit a home run in Major League Baseball. You're just going to stick out the bat and you think it's going to go 400? Is that what the story is? By the way, 5.5% of everyday Americans voted in the poll said they could score a goal in the MLS. So, I mean, it's not a bunch. Now, how about some of this? 24%. Now we're getting into a high number here with everyday Americans thinking they could do this. 24% said they could land some punches in a pro boxing match. Well, I see these fight videos in the stands. But see, you're not fighting a drunk guy. See, you guys aren't fighting a drunk guy. This is a pro boxing match, and you could land some punches in a pro. 24% of Americans said they could do that. 17% said they could score in the NBA. How could you even get off a shot? How are you even going to get off a shot in the NBA? That's my question. What's the hardest thing to do in pro sports? What's the hardest thing to do? How about the Nate Brown Show question of the day? Let's see. Hitting a baseball has to be the hardest thing in any sporting event. Hitting a baseball, you say, huh? Let's go to the call here. Thanks for getting in. You're live, and you go ahead.
Winning the Triple Crown.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's hard, but how about like you, Steve? I want to know, could you do something in pro sports?
I bet I could have struck out a Major League Baseball player 40 years ago.
Is that right?
I played it. Yeah, I played amateur baseball in Georgia, where we actually have, tons of real players that play. And
so you would have been able
20s and 30s and 40s and 50s. Yeah,
you might have been able to strike out a batter.
I was a good relief pitcher.
Okay, all right, that's good to know.
I had a lot of junk on that ball. Hardest thing to do, hit a baseball.
You think so?
Well, not today so much, but in the old days, yeah.
Okay, so today, if they're just throwing 98, you just stick your bat out. I can hit it.
105. You know it's coming.
Yes.
Now, can I, at my age, hit a 90 or 105 mile an hour fastball? Nate? No. 40 years ago, I would have hit that.
Okay. All right.
It's coming down the middle, Nate. And a bunt, the last time I heard a bunt is a hit, right?
I love it. I like that.
I made a living playing amateur ball back in Georgia, bunting the ball.
Okay. I got you on that. So you could strike out a batter back in your day.
Back in the day.
And you could get a hit.
Yes.
Wow. That's good stuff, man.
Hey, I was the only 9-year-old on the Omaha Pee-wees.
I like
12
it.
And under club baseball. So,
let's rock and roll.
I got there because I got on base. That's why I was a leadoff hitter.
Hey, how about this one? I'm going to get you on this. How about scoring a basket? How about scoring in the NBA?
Well, I'm not going to brag, Nate, but I could shoot 30-footers when I was 8, 9, 10 years old because when you're 2'7", Jerry Bell, the neighbor, would come over and block me all day long.
So that's what I mean. I don't think you get off a shot in the NBA. I don't think.
Oh,
you
yeah,
do.
you kidding, Nate? Local threes, buddy. See, now, again, if we went back to the old days, I would have never scored.
All right.
It would have been an embarrassment to them players, today's players,
Oh, yeah, you'd score on these guys.
Come on. They get $50 million to flop, I guess. I don't know.
I love
Triple Crown, to me, is the hardest sport to... I know it's
hardest
horse racing, but
when
we're in the Triple Crown, it hasn't been done very much.
All right, buddy. That's good to know. That segment that was made for you. I appreciate it. All right, what's the votes coming in here? And then I'm going to ask John Bryce coming up next. This poll came out of Americans. This is the real poll today. All right, this sports poll. Easiest thing to do for everyday Americans in pro sports and hardest thing to do. Their vote was hardest thing to do was strike out a batter in the MLB. Strike out a batter in the MLB. What's our vote on the Nate Brown Show Twitter poll? 40% of you voting the hardest thing to do would be winning a NASCAR race. Actually winning the race. 39% say getting a hit in the major leagues. 14% here on the Nate Brown Show scoring a goal in the MLS. And 7% saying scoring a touchdown in the NFL. So my Twitter audience could score a touchdown in the NFL from the 10-yard line. What are you going to do? I'm going to hand it off to Matt Kearney and see if his lung gets knocked loose. It wouldn't be pretty, believe me. All right. We'll revisit this. This is a good one. We'll go to the text line. Some answers coming in. The Nate Brown Show off and running. By the way, what's the easiest thing to do from everyday Americans? They said they could drive a racing lap without crashing. So they could get through a lap without crashing. Well, yeah, I think so. Right? Judging by some of the drivers I drive to in the morning, but I'm not sure. But I think so. Be careful. Don't crash. John Bryce up next as we get going. College football national writer. What does he think about the Huskers starting? Dylan Raiola. We'll start there next.
From high school to college to the pros, this is the Nate Brown Show on 106.7 FM and 1150 AM Fox Sports Rapid City.
The incredible Renewal by Anderson Dog Days of Summer Sale is here, and I will sit up and shake for this one. It's the best offer ever for new windows and doors. Please listen to this. You get 20% off, an additional 5% off if purchased on the initial consultation. No payments for 24 months, 2 whole years, no payments. Please visit RBARapidCity.com. Call today. Schedule your free in-home consultation. Don't wait. This deal ends August 31st. 2 years, no payments. That's doggone awesome.
We are number one. So you can always be their number one. Black Hills Surgical Hospital and Black Hills Orthopedic and Spine Center. The number one hospital in the nation for major orthopedic surgery.
Sports Rapid City forecast. A severe thunderstorm watch continues. Slight chance of thunderstorms. Tonight, otherwise partly cloudy skies. Lows level off around 64. South winds 8 to 15 miles per hour. Daytime highs approaching 90. Tomorrow, mainly sunny skies. Mainly cloudy skies expected. Tomorrow night, lows dip down to about 65. That's your forecast on the Black Hills Sports Station, Fox Sports Rapid City. Currently 86.
Pops Tire Service is your low-priced headquarters for all major tire brands. We buy tires, manufacture direct, and sell to you for less. Right now, get up to $265 in rebates on Goodyear, up to $160 in rebates on Bridgestone, or up to $150 in rebates on Firestone. Pops Tire won't be undersold. Hurry, offer ends August 31st. See store for details. Visit us online at PopsTire.com. Pops, we know tires and service. You should know Pops.
Hi, folks. Kevin McPherson, McPherson Auction Company. This weekend is our large annual Cool Deadwood Nights Classic Car Auction. 3 big days. Thursday, 1 o'clock in the afternoon. Friday and Saturday, 9 o'clock each morning. That is right. The classic cars and memorabilia at the Deadwood Mountain Grand, Deadwood, South Dakota. If you're unable to attend the auction, you can follow us online and simulcast bidding available. For more details and to bid and buy, go to McPhersonAuction.com.
Live from the Anytime Auto Sales Service and Details Studio. Sales, service, and recreation. This is Fox Sports Rapid City.
Welcome back in. The Nate Brown Show off and running on a Wednesday. Glad you're here. As always, appreciate that. Thanks for spending some time with us. We do appreciate that, whether you're on radio, 106.7 FM, 1150 AM. If you're catching the show digitally on Twitter, X, stream us there, at Nate Brown Show on X. If you have an account, you've got us at Nate Brown Show weekdays 4 to 6. And stream Fox Sports Rapid City all the time, from Dan in the morning to your drive here. FoxSportsRapidCity.com. Brand new online player on your phone. You've got us. John Bryce is in tonight. Busy, man. It's week 0, college football. National writer, footballscoop.com. John, good to have you back. How are you?
I'm good, Nate. It dawned on me earlier today when I was talking to my wife, Jessica, that this Wednesday a year ago, we were in Ireland preparing for her to attend and me to cover and work the Notre Dame Navy game as part of the Aer Lingus Kickoff Classic, and we've got Florida State and Georgia Tech in that contest this coming Saturday. So crazy how time flies. I'm glad for each and every visit I've had with you since that Wednesday in Ireland a year ago.
That was good stuff, man. I remember that now. Yeah, as you said, Notre Dame kicking off that Ireland series. Okay, I'm going to get into kind of the week 0 stuff. I want to hit on some headlines first. So the Huskers, I wasn't surprised at all, but people were kind of saying, oh, maybe Heinrich Haarberg might get the spot because he started last year and played in Nebraska. I said, it's got to be Dylan Raiola, highest-rated quarterback to ever go to Nebraska, and Matt Rule names him the starter today. What'd you think?
Yeah, 0 surprise. I'm curious. Again, we've discussed, I think, before that Raiola has attended maybe 3 different high schools over the course of his prep career, and stuff happens, and you have reasons to move and to change programs and things like that. But his talent is undeniable, and let's not ignore the fact that there's a very lucrative NIL deal that makes it in everyone's best interest for Raiola to start and to be successful. Now, Matt Rule is a pro's pro. He's always jumped programs, especially in year 2. So Matt Rule's starting him because he believes in Raiola and believes in his abilities and his skill set. But the current landscape of college football, you can't ignore the money that's on the table, and there's a significant 7-figure investment in Raiola.
Okay, so this is one more in Nebraska because you covered these guys. I talked to you about this last week. I'm looking at Nebraska. It feels like there's quite a bit of real juice there, meaning easy schedule, like one of the easiest ones they've had. Do you think there's any concern if the Huskers don't get to like the 7-8 win mark? We're not talking just like 6-6 hopeful. We're talking like 8 wins. Do you think that the Huskers expect that?
I do. I think the Huskers expect that. I think it's fair to expect that because of how long it's been since Nebraska's been to a bowl game. I think I noted last week it's been since the end of the 2016 season. I think it's fair because of what you're paying Matt Rule, what you've seen out of Matt Rule in the past, how close you've been as a program at Nebraska to almost already having multiple 7, 8, 9 win seasons. And then, as you mentioned, the schedule component cannot be ignored. They get Colorado at home. Colorado's had its share of upheaval and tumult over the last season. Colorado's a different program than it was a year ago when it absolutely routed Nebraska. Nebraska's a different program than when it got beat by Colorado. And in full transparency, I remember picking Nebraska to win that game. So I need to get it on the table there, how badly I was wrong about that. I'll be picking Nebraska to win that game again this year, though, I'll tell you that. I expect Nebraska to make a big jump. I expect Nebraska to win some of these games. Look, Nebraska's got on its schedule what I think are not just 2 of the worst teams in the Big Ten, but 2 of the teams that I expect to be the worst among major college football programs, and that's Purdue and that's UCLA. And I just think both those programs are set up for struggles this season, set up for disappointment. I didn't like what I saw out of Purdue last year under Ryan Walters, in his first role as head coach. I think that Foster has looked a little bit out of his depth at UCLA. Chip Kelly was a proven program builder, a proven tactician who could do things that just knew how to hold a program together, and it really stabilized UCLA. So, yeah, to your point, I think Nebraska has a lot of advantages on its schedule. I think Matt Rule has a lot of advantages because of what he's always done in year 2, and I like the talent of the Huskers.
John Bryce on tonight, footballscoop.com, the best place to go, national college football writer. Let's go to Notre Dame. You're right there in South Bend, John. You know Notre Dame. How big is the addition of Riley Leonard, Duke transfer? How good do you think he can be at QB?
I think it's significant. I would contend that Notre Dame won the quarterback derby sweepstakes in the portal again this year. I know that Miami got Cam Ward. I know that Ohio State got Howard from Kansas State. I know that there were some other significant movements. I know Kentucky is really excited to have Brock Vandagriff from Georgia. But I think in talking to folks at Notre Dame and the story that I did a few months ago where I talked to like a half dozen different ACC coaches just about Riley Leonard, and they told me about his athleticism and how much the kid is a winner, some intangible things that he's done. I think it's huge. I think Notre Dame should be and absolutely needs to be a playoff team this year, particularly as it expands to 12 and particularly as Notre Dame volunteered to never get a bye in its current format because it doesn't play in a conference, but it can host. And I think that a bare minimum from Notre Dame should be making the playoffs, and frankly, I think that it would be disappointing if Notre Dame isn't hosting a playoff game. Okay, so next weekend, South Dakota State FCS national champions back-to-back. They play at Oklahoma State. So a little side note with Oklahoma State getting some press here. They're putting QR codes on the back of their helmets. That's for the NIL donations. Hey, you can do the QR code and donate here. Is that a turn-off for anybody? It might be a turnoff for some of the people that, go to the restaurants for the Blue Plate specials at 4 o'clock. But otherwise, I think it's smart. Like, if we're going to have NIL in this day and age, at least that the money's going to the players. At least you can choose to scan that QR code and figure out how to donate to the players or the university and kind of direct how your funds are going. It's not this sort of nebulous thing where you send money in somewhere and you don't really know how it's being spent. I like Mike Gundy today on the Pat McAfee show. He similar sentiments to what he echoed a week ago. Like, we want to pay our guys, and if you're celebrating and you're happy and a guy's performing well, this is a way for you to give him money directly. We're not going to negotiate with our players or our coaches or myself during the season. So I like it. It's not been that long since UCF and Gus Malzahn had Twitter handles on the back of some of their jerseys. I think Deion might have had his Colorado players maybe with Twitter handles or something similar on the back of their practice jerseys. Look, every stadium now is creeping closer and closer to being corporately sponsored when that wasn't the case just a few years ago in college athletics. Tennessee is now being called Neyland Stadium, preserved by pilot fuel. So I don't know if they're going to start nicknaming Neyland Stadium the big gas pump, or Kentucky's Commonwealth Stadium is now Kroger Field at Commonwealth Stadium. So I guess it's the big grocery cart. I don't know. It's just the way of the world, and until all the money stuff is transparent and fully finalized, you do things that you can, and college football is a world where you better innovate or you die. I think Marcus Freeman has a good phrase. He says, adapt or die, and that's what he talks about for his Notre Dame program. Notre Dame is seeing that, building a brand-new $150 million football facility. So around the sport of college football, it's adapt or die.
Okay, I was told Oklahoma State on the football side has good O-line, great running back, so some experience back. They could make noise in the Big 12. That seems like a tough opener for South Dakota State, a great FCS team. How tough of a road for the Jackrabbits? Yeah,
it's incredibly tough, and from visiting with me enough and from being kind enough to read Football Scoop that I feel very dialed in to the FCS landscape. I devote a lot of attention to it. I'm always going to cling to the fact that I picked South Dakota State to beat Colorado State a couple of years ago when they did, in fact, do that. This is a little bit more of a different animal. This is really tough going into not just an Oklahoma State program that's got a veteran offensive line and literally an All-American running back, but in Mike Gundy, you have the second most tenured college football coach in all of major college football now, behind only Kirk Ferentz, and just ahead of Kyle Whittingham at Utah and Troy Calhoun at Air Force. When you have that kind of stability, you know how to handle these games. I don't expect South Dakota State to be embarrassed whatsoever. I think this will be a really nice contest into the second half. I just think that Oklahoma State's overall size advantage in the trenches and experience and depth will prove the key.
John, give me your read before I let you run on the Week 0 big game, the one you talked about, Ireland, Florida State, Georgia Tech. Florida State's top 10, are they a playoff team?
I have a hard time seeing Florida State as a playoff team based off everything they lost last year, and most especially having to replace Jordan Travis at quarterback. Georgia Tech was a surprise team a year ago, a pleasant surprise team, and they've got Haynes King, the former coveted consensus 4-star recruit who initially signed with Texas A&M out of high school. They've done some good things in the transfer portal. It's a great opening test for Florida State. Florida State's going to be in the conversation, but look, Florida State has a road game at Notre Dame. Florida State hosts Florida late in the year. It has its full ACC schedule, and now here it is opening across the pond in Ireland against Georgia Tech, a conference game to lead things off. So I don't think that Florida State will be a playoff team, but it will be a factor in the national conversation over the course of the season.
Okay, John Bryce, a new poll is out, not a political poll. This is a sports poll. Everyday Americans think they can do professional sports feats. They say the hardest thing that they voted for, the hardest thing, striking out a batter in the major leagues. You're a baseball fan. What's harder, getting a hit for you or striking a batter out for you?
I think it would be getting a hit. I think, especially an elite batter, if you're up there as an average Joe, throwing some junk and throwing 55 or 60 miles an hour instead of the 88 to 98 that they're accustomed to on a day-out basis, I just think you got a little bit better chance. Maybe you get Eric Gregg, RIP, behind the plate, or Cowboy Joe West, and so your strike zone expands a good 8 inches, and you get a couple of gimme calls off the side. But I promise you, there's not a chance in hell that I'm stepping into the box against Max Fried or Justin Verlander or any of those guys and able to get a hit. It's just not happening. Now, maybe I could bunt before some knee surgeries. Maybe I could have gotten an infield single. But no, I think getting a hit against a major league pitcher, giving his all, is the toughest thing in all of sports.
Okay, so he's got it. Book it. Footballscoop.com. National writer. Week 0's here, and I appreciate him hopping on. It is the great John Bryce tonight. John, always great. Thanks a lot.
Appreciate the heck out of you guys. Have a great week.
Appreciate it, man. John Bryce in tonight. Busy time, man. He's covering Notre Dame and the national scene out of South Bend. Footballscoop.com. National writer John Bryce off and running. John D. Bryce 1. If you're not following him, he comes on the Nate Brown Show a lot. Great guest. Built a good relationship with John. It's a lot of fun to talk college football with him all season long. So John D. Bryce 1. If you're on X, Twitter, follow him there. So he says getting a hit is the hardest thing to do in all of sports. The hardest thing to do. That's a statement people make, and I think it's really hard, but I think I could bloop one. I actually think I could bloop one. Stick the bat out, bloop one. I think I could do that. Let's see here. What is the hardest thing to do in pro sports? The everyday American. For the everyday American, hardest thing to do it in pro sports. I have some options that I'm throwing out there. Let's see. Listener text, all of the above. That is right. That is right. Listener text from a great baseball guy. Hitting a baseball is one of the most difficult things to do. If you succeed 3 out of 10 times, you're considered a great hitter. Well, that's a good way to put it. Think about that. Even if the pros get 3 out of 10, that's a good average. So could I get 1? Well, I'm not talking I only get 10 shots. I mean, I sit there all day. I get a chance all day, right? I get to get up there and get a hit. I could bloop one. Eventually, I could bloop one. I might be passed out by the end of the day, but eventually I could bloop one. I get to see you a little bit more. I can't pull you out. You're not getting pulled out like we do all the time today. Listener text coming in, hardest thing to do in pro sports, or the easiest thing. What do you think you could do? Listener text said, people are delusional. The average Joe would get cooked by the pros. Yeah, I get that. What are the votes here? 40% of you say the hardest thing to do would be winning a NASCAR race still. 39%, it's close. 39% getting a hit Major League Baseball. 14% scoring a goal in Major League Soccer. 7% say the hardest thing, scoring a touchdown in the NFL. So we figured out our audience on the Nate Brown Show today saying scoring a touchdown in the NFL is something that you could do. You're basically saying that's the easiest thing out of all of those is scoring a touchdown in the NFL. I'd love to see that. I'd love to see it. 100 miles an hour. You go to an NFL game and you watch the speed, the closing speed. I mean, it is crazy. How about a couple of these? 9% of people said in this sports poll they could tackle an NFL player. 9% of everyday Americans said they could tackle an NFL player. How are you going to do that? I mean, we're going to have to write your obituary after that, but you got it done, right? You got it done. All right. Ryan O'Halloran is in next as we keep rolling. Covers the Bills for the Buffalo News. Now, this is refreshing. Josh Allen was asked today. Josh, your contract was signed a couple of years ago, your extension. He's now not one of the highest paid quarterbacks. Josh Allen for the Bills, not one of the highest paid quarterbacks. They said, do you feel underpaid with all these new deals? What did Josh Allen say? Ryan O'Halloran was there. We'll discuss it next.
You're listening to The Nate Brown Show. Follow us and watch the show live on Twitter at Nate Brown Show.
Get ready to ride the road to 25K every Saturday in August only at Tin Lizzy. There's one $25,000 winner guaranteed, and this month we are adding even more ways for you to win. 5 players will be drawn at 10 p.m. every Saturday night for a chance at the grand prize. Earn entries by playing with your Clubhouse card on some of the newest and most exciting games in Deadwood. It's the road to 25K, and it's happening all month long at Tin Lizzy Gaming Resort, located on historic Main Street in Deadwood. Take your game to the next level.
Hey, it's Nate Brown for Precision Mechanical, your local heating and air conditioning company, serving Rapid City, Spearfish, and the surrounding area since 2006. Precision Mechanical is here to help you stay cool this summer. If your air conditioning goes out, they have a technician on call 24/7. Also, if you need a new system, Precision is your local Lennox Premier dealer. For all of your servicing needs, maintenance, or a new system, it's Precision Mechanical. So beat the heat this summer. Just Google Precision Mechanical.
The doctors and staff at Black Hills Orthopedic and Spine Center have provided expert bone, joint, and muscle care to patients in the Black Hills area since 1976. Whether you're an elite athlete, a weekend warrior, or just want to continue your active lifestyle, the orthopedic experts at Black Hills Orthopedic and Spine Center will help you stay in the game. Don't let an injury keep you from doing the things you love. Trust the team at Black Hills Orthopedic and Spine Center, specializing in what moves you. Learn more at bhosc.com.
Now is the best time to buy an SUV from Danny Menho Rushmore Honda. Choose from late model local trades, Fords, GMCs, Toyotas, Nissans, Jeeps, Subarus, Chevys, and more. Plus, we have the area's best selection of pre-owned Honda and Honda certified pre-owned trucks and SUVs. To make it easier on your bank account, buy with no money down and make no payments for 90 days. The used sport utilities you want are here at Danny Menho Rushmore Honda or RushmoreHonda.com.
Are you planning a special event? Need catering that will truly impress your guests? Look no further than the Box Elder Event Center. Their expert catering team crafts personalized menus for weddings, corporate events, family gatherings, and more. From elegant hors d'oeuvres to mouth-watering main courses, their dishes are designed to delight your taste buds. They can do it all from intimate gatherings to grand celebrations. Book your catering today at thebox.live and experience exceptional service at The Box.
Hi, it's Colin Coward. Great to be in the Black Hills. Getting the herd weekdays 10 to 1 on 106.7 FM and 1150 AM. Fox Sports.
We are back. Your sports, your show. The Nate Brown Show live. Weekdays 4 to 6 on Fox Sports Rapid City. Thanks for checking in. If you missed parts of the show, the Nate Brown Show podcast always available. Some great guests over the past couple of weeks. Kalen DeBoer last week, head coach Alabama. Great stuff. So it's still there. Search the Nate Brown Show, and you get every podcast right there on Apple, Spotify, Amazon, wherever you get your podcast. Search the Nate Brown Show, and you've got us there. Tonight, Jeff Schwartz joins us, 8-year NFL offensive lineman, now Fox Sports NFL analyst. Jeff Schwartz on the show for the first time tonight, coming up. Ryan O'Halloran's in from Buffalo. Covers the Bills, the Buffalo News. He's on X at Ryan O'Halloran. Ryan, good to have you back. How are you?
I'm good, Nate. Good to join again. And Bo Nix, we trust.
I was going to go there. That's a nice one. In Bo Nix, we trust. I'm trying to think of the right phrase. Do we believe? Do you believe, Ryan O'Halloran? You covered the Broncos. Is this the next chapter of a good quarterback, the best since Peyton Manning? Is this it?
Well, that bar is set pretty low, but I think he has the best opportunity to do that. And you know, there is something to be said for playing a ton of college football. And you see different defenses, different coverages, different pressures. You maybe come to the NFL more prepared and more measured and more composed and more vocal. And I think, you just watched that Green Bay game the other night. Sean Payton is going to scheme some stuff up to take care of the rookie quarterback. They don't have a lot of great skill position talent, but I think they'll be able to scheme their way. I don't think they're going to have a winning record, but since they're not going to, go with the kid.
All right, there's the Ryan O'Halloran Reed from Buffalo, former Broncos beat writer. Now you're on the Bills, and so I thought this was interesting. You wrote a piece about this a while ago, but Josh Allen's been asked about this now this week, his $258 million contract extension. Everyone said, man, huge extension in 2021. That was a massive salary at the time, the second largest annual salary at the time. Well, now there's new deals happening all the time, the Trevor Lawrences of the world. So there's big deals that are happening. Josh was asked about it. Are you underpaid? I like his answer. I'm a Josh Allen fan. He says, I've got no problem with where I'm at right now. I had my day a couple of years ago. What do you think of his answer?
Well, he is right. His day is going to come, but he also realizes that when you set the market at the quarterback position, it's just a matter of time before you get passed. Well, right now Josh's $43 million average is 13th among quarterbacks, $2 million below the next closest, which is Mahomes and Cousins. Has Allen taken a team-friendly deal? Probably so, but at the time, as you mentioned, it was right at the top. And it's not Allen's fault that he's been passed by so many guys, and it's not those guys' fault that they've signed for more money. It's all about the timing. The cap's going up and up and up, and I wrote this on August 1st, and I didn't ask Allen about it because I didn't want to give away my hand that I was working on it. So I talked to a couple of people in the league, and I said, okay, Josh Allen's next contract extension, what's it going to entail? And this is what I got. 3 years, $204 million. That's a $68 million average. This would be after the 2025 season when the cap mechanics work out. So his day is going to come before he turns 30, but he's aware of that. What guys know in this league, they know what their contemporaries are making. So he understands where he sits.
So your read on it as you talk to people about it, he's going to get almost $70 million average annual, almost $70 million. That's where we're going to go. So our team's going to look at it like, hey, we'll go heavy, but for like 3 years. We're not going to do any more of these 8, 10 years, 5 years even.
Yeah, and a couple of points on that is, first one is I think Dak Prescott's going to reset the market. He's the next quarterback up. If he hits free agency, I think he gets the $60 million a year because all it takes is one team. To your next point about the shorter-term deal, I asked a couple of my league executives about that. They said guys like Allen, Mahomes, Prescott, they've made their money. They've made double their money in endorsements. They're going to go for the shorter-term deal because the cap's only going to go up. So go 3-year deal, and then after 2 years, then maybe they want to extend you. If I'm a team, I like that term 3 years because you're not totally crippled by it in case the player falls off production-wise. So I do think you're going to see a trend of these shorter-term contracts, but just at the quarterback position, maybe receiver.
Ryan O'Halloran on tonight from Buffalo, covers the Bills. The Buffalo News, Josh Allen said he's fine with where he's at right now. He's 13th in annual average salary in quarterbacks right now in the league. So he's only going into his fourth year. This was a 8-year deal. He's only going into his fourth year, so the Bills are going to have to revisit this, you think, in 2025?
I think so, and here's why. This year, his cap number of 30.3 represents 11.9% of the Bills' cap. Next year, it goes up to 16.6, but then in 2025, 22.5%. Excuse me, in 2026. So I think they sort of have to curtail that cap number. Right now, in 2026, the cap number is $63.9 million. If you sign them into a new deal with that $68 million average, you can add some dummy years to get that cap hit down, and which leaves you plenty of money to spend on other players.
Okay, when you talk about it, do you think that's the same story? Do you see the Chiefs going down this road? Think about it. They got a long-term deal with Patrick Mahomes. Are they going to do the same type of deal? Because these are elite QBs, and they're getting not paid as much as some guys that haven't done anything, the Jordan Loves.
Yeah, and I think Mahomes, I think it was last year, right now they're calling it if you notice, Nate, they call it a contract adjustment. Well, really what it is you're just adding more guaranteed money without any years to it. Mahomes did that, I believe, last year where they gave him a raise. But he also said this camp, I'm happy with where I'm at with the contract I signed. So him and Allen are sort of on the same page there. But Patrick, I mean, you got to think Mahomes has one more big deal lift in him. It's just a matter of, is it a short-term contract? I would think so.
It's interesting how the cap's going to go, and are we going to hit $70 million a year for QBs?
I think in the next 5-6 years, because if you're an agent, you look at the salary cap and you're like, okay, the quarterback position, my guys should take up a percentage of that cap. Well, how about if it turns out to be, $68, $69 million average? Well, that's your bargaining position, and the team's going to be able to afford that. But you're really looking at, even more so than in previous years, is if you have a quarterback on a rookie deal, you have 4-year window before you have to extend him and get rid of some other guys. The Chiefs won their Super Bowls during Mahomes' rookie contract. The Bills did not get there. But so now they're going to have to sort of pay premium quarterback money if Josh Allen is to get there with the Bills.
Josh Allen says he's fine with where he's at now with his contract, 13th in the league average value, fourth season of an 8-year deal, but that could be changing. Ryan O'Halloran covering it, the Buffalo News. Hey, how about the Bills and the Steelers the other day? You can't tell how good teams are going to be, Ryan. I know that preseason-wise, but the Bills' defense just shut down the Steelers. Russell Wilson, tough time. Justin Fields, tough time. Should we take anything away from the QBs over there on the Steelers?
Yeah, they both stink, and they got some major issues there. The Steelers' right tackle was injured, so Greg Rousseau is going against a backup. But what you saw from Russell Wilson, Bronco fans listening could probably relate. You saw a guy with no pocket presence. I mean, at least one of those sacks, he should have been able to get out of trouble. He should have seen it coming. Justin Fields, he's going to keep both teams in the game, but he's at least going to make up for poor pass protection. I think the Steelers are definitely in the Prescott sweepstakes next March, and this is why they're going with this 1-year contract stuff with these two quarterbacks.
Do you think Russell Wilson starts for how long?
I think he does get the start in week 1. It's going to be a very short window for him to produce. Do you give it 2 weeks, 3 weeks? One thing helping the Steelers is they don't play any division games for a while. So they can sort of get their ducks in a row, get their house in order, and then when they start their run of division games, they can have their quarterback situation, solidified. And it doesn't, if they win those games, they'll be going to the playoffs.
All right, last one in the AFC East for you. Would you play Aaron Rodgers at all in the preseason?
I would not. Came in the league in 2005. He knows how to get himself ready, and he hadn't played a couple of times in Green Bay, and he won MVP awards. This season, when they open up at San Francisco, I fully expect Aaron Rodgers to be ready to go. And Josh Allen he finished playing 8 snaps in the preseason. So some of these high-profile star guys, they don't need it.
Ryan O'Halloran on tonight from the Buffalo News, covers the Bills, some great Bills fans, and following Josh Allen out here on Fox Sports Rapid City. Ryan, good to have you as always. Thanks a lot.
Okay, Nate, take care.
Appreciate your time. Ryan O'Halloran in tonight, Bills writer, the Buffalo News from Bills training camp on X at Ryan O'Halloran. Follow him there, Bills fans. So, I mean, Josh Allen's my guy. I've always said that from the start at Wyoming. Character, leadership, humility, competitor, work. I mean, he just, all that stuff. That's why I wanted my Broncos to take him. So I was in early on the Josh Allen deal. And then his comment, to say, hey, Josh, got these new quarterbacks signing deals, Jordan Love and Trevor Lawrence. I mean, you're 13th in average value, 13th in your contract. Do you feel underpaid? And, Josh, I've got no problem with where I'm at right now. He's in his 4th year of an 8-year deal. Ryan O'Halloran writing a piece saying the Bills are going to have to change that in 2025. He thinks they're going to have to change that. Could get upwards of the upper 60s million a year. Keep an eye on that. I mean, you're not going to have Josh Allen and Patrick Mahomes and some of these elite players getting paid less than Kirk Cousins and some of this, right? I mean, you're not. I like Kirk, but he's not Josh Allen. All right, Craig Maddox on next as we keep rolling on a Wednesday on the Nate Brown Show. It's East River meets West River. Some high school football questions for Craig. High school football getting underway this week, and Craig Maddox on next.
You're listening to The Nate Brown Show.
The incredible Renewal by Anderson Dog Days of Summer Sale is here, and I will sit up and shake for this one. It's the best offer ever for new windows and doors. Please listen to this. You get 20% off, an additional 5% off if purchased on the initial consultation. No payments for 24 months, 2 whole years, no payments. Please visit RBARapidCity.com. Call today. Schedule your free in-home consultation. Don't wait. This deal ends August 31st. 2 years, no payments. That's doggone awesome.
We are number one. So you can always be their number one. Black Hills Surgical Hospital and Black Hills Orthopedic and Spine Center. The number one hospital in the nation for major orthopedic surgery.
Strive to give you the best car buying experience in the Black Hills. We offer a hassle-free, worry-free environment, and we've made it easy to get pre-approved in minutes by going to gatewayapproves.com or stop in and we can help you through the process right there.
So check us out at 410 North Campbell Street or 123 Omaha. 2 great locations serving you in the Black Hills.
See for yourself why our customers say we have the funnest buying experience in Rapid City.
Gateway Autoplex, where nobody, and I mean nobody,
beats a Gateway deal.
Do you have a financial game plan for your life? Hi, this is Lee Cruz, your local trusted New York Life agent here in Rapid City. My passion is helping you put the pieces in place for your family to make sure your game plan is a success. For over 175 years, New York Life has been helping people like yourself take action in securing their future. Don't wait, take action and Google Lee Cruz New York Life or call 605-360-8804. We will work together on putting your family first.
Whether you run the race, make the catch, cast a line, pitch a tent, or just look good doing it, Shields Rapid City has your gear. From athletic clothing from your favorite team, cold weather gear to keep you warm, to the best camping selection this side of the Black Hills, and the most stylish and functional women's outerwear and footwear. Shields has the widest selection of the best brands in the business. So when you're ready to get out, get in the game, or get going, get to Shields. Shields, we're right there with you at Rushmore Crossing in Rapid City.
Hey, this is Rob Parker from The Odd Couple. Don't miss our show weeknights from 6 to 8 p.m. right here on Fox Sports Rapid City. And now we'll send you back to Rapid City Sports Talk Show, The Nate Brown Show.
Welcome back in. Glad you're here. The Nate Brown Show live. Matt Kearney has voted in the poll. What is the hardest thing to do? No. He said, what's the easiest thing to do? I got to get this right. Easiest thing to do. For Matt Kearney, the great producer of the Nate Brown Show, what's the easiest pro sports feat for Matt Kearney? He said he could win a NASCAR race. Look out on the roads when he's out there tonight. Look out. Okay? He could win a NASCAR race. All right, that's our question of the day. New poll out from Everyday Americans. Yes, not political. I mean, all these polls. How about the real poll? What's the hardest thing to do in pro sports for an everyday American? What's the easiest thing to do? The Nate Brown Show live on Fox Sports Rapid City with Craig Maddox, SDPB Sports from Sioux Falls. Craig, how are you?
I'm doing good. I've seen Matt Kearney drive around Rapid City, so I believe him that he could win a race.
Look out.
In NASCAR.
Look out. He's a great driver.
I've seen him on Rushmore Road.
Oh, okay. I believe that. Look out. Let's not get him into trouble. Okay, I want to ask you, hardest thing for Craig Maddox to do in pro sports? Like, a lot of people are voting for getting a hit in a Major League Baseball game. They say, well, that's a hard thing to do. You think getting a hit's the hardest?
Yes, I do. I think it is. I think making contact with a 90-mile-an-hour fastball or an 86-mile-an-hour curveball, yeah, that's the toughest thing to do. If it was easy, you and I would be playing a lot longer.
Okay, I think there's a lot of hard things. I don't think Craig Maddock could win a NASCAR race. We're talking win a NASCAR race. I mean, come on.
Well, I have to drive around Sioux Falls a lot. That would be tough. I think just because of the quick reaction that you have to have, and not worried about going 3 wide on the banks of Daytona.
Yeah, it's long. You sweat. It's tougher than people think. I will say that. Okay, that's interesting. By the way, the Everyday Americans voted. They said the hardest thing to do in this new sports poll, they said it's striking out a batter in the major leagues. Actually, striking out a batter. I don't know.
I don't know about that. I don't know about that. As long as all these batters are going after the launch angle, I think it's easier to strike them out.
Spoken from a old school announcer. I understand. We had that already. Okay, I want to get into some high school football. It is high school football time. Sports are already underway. Soccer got going this past weekend, so we had some good action. High school football starts this week, 9-man and 11B. So here's 2 things I really want to discuss with you, Craig. 2 things that I really think we should look to change. And I'm not just stirring it up. I really think this is the case. I think that we have to have our schools be able to schedule at least half of their games in football. The state does them all. I think we got to have at least half of our games. Central has to travel over 2,800 miles this year. 4 trips to Sioux Falls. 4. That's half of the season. They don't get to play all of the area teams. There's no reason why Sturgis and Spearfish shouldn't play Central and Stevens every year, and we don't do it anymore. Could we schedule half of our games and let the state mandate 4?
I understand it on the Sioux Falls side. It's pretty easy to do that if they were going to do it because there's just a lot more teams around here. I wonder if Sturgis and Spearfish would want to play Stevens and Central.
I think so, but I think so.
But it's just that geographic hole that, unfortunately, the Rapid City is in where the demographics and the geographics just don't favor them, and so they are going to have to travel more, just like Harding County and Faith and Bison, all those, there's nobody out there, so they have to travel. It's just the way it is. I think it all comes down to, again, classification. It comes down to Spearfish and Sturgis. They all used to play each other all those years ago, but now they've put them in different classes.
Yes.
And it would be interesting to find out. I'm surprised that I understand what the association is trying to do. You just play, the AAA schools. You only play the schools, for the most part, in your class. But I think you got to make some exceptions. I can understand the Rapid City folks getting tired every other week. They're going across the state. I think a lot of folks would be tired of doing that after a while. But I don't know. I don't know what the reaction would be if you get, the Spearfish, the Sturgis, the Custers, certainly the St. Thomas More, be able to play them every year.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. I've got Spearfish here who used to play St. Thomas More all the time, and they're not playing them. I mean, they used to play them. They're in the Black Hills Conference. They were. So, all these various things that happen, it just, the state controls the schedule, and we don't have some of our regional games. My big thing is, Craig, it would save the school's budget big time, because our budget's out here, that's expensive, 4 trips to Sioux Falls. Fans would enjoy it, and then you'd have some competitiveness. We'd see some better games than having to send Central back to Sioux Falls for the 4th time. So I just think we should look at it.
I know what that trip is like. I know what that trip is like because, I had a son that played for Washington several years ago, and then, they had one Rapid City trip that year. And it was one of those where, if you're going to go watch your kids play, you're leaving at noon, getting out to Rapid, around 5 o'clock, get some supper, and then you go to the game, and then when the game is done, you're coming back.
Yeah.
That is brutal. I just think that I respect those families that are doing that, not only once, but 2 or maybe even 3 times during a season. That takes a lot out of not only the family budget, but time and effort and everything else. It's tough.
Yeah, I know, and you did it once. I mean, listen to this. Listen to this. He did it once, and he's worried about it. We're doing it 4 times. Anyway,
it sound like I'm such a weasel here.
Okay, that's one change I really do want to see. Maybe we can't schedule all of our games, so I said maybe we could do at least half to get some of our regional games around here. The other one is this. We talk about classes all the time, and we say we can't force teams to play 6-man. You're a proponent of 6-man for some of these small towns and schools.
Mm-hmm.
We can't force them to do it. I got 9-man coaches saying, I don't want to do it. Well, here's the deal. Do we have to come up with a requirement for the minimum number of players on a roster in order to be 9-man? Meaning, you look through it, Gregory has 16 players. Colombe has 13 players. Colombe has 13 players. What if we made it 20? You got to have 20 on your roster to be 9-man. The rest of you are 6-man. Does that work?
It might. It might. I don't know what that number would be. I mean, if you have just 13 on your roster, even 20, if you have 20 in your roster and you're playing 9-man, I mean, there's no way you're going a lot of players are going 2-way. That's a great question. I don't know what that number would be, but if you're getting down to 13 or 15,
yes,
you have a couple of injuries, or you got young kids in the lineup. You might as well go to 6-man. It'd be much more competitive.
You know what I'm saying, Craig? I just pulled out the number. I said, well, that's maybe the only way to get a 6-man class is, hey, we got to have 20 players, and if you don't, it can be dangerous. You got freshmen and 8th graders playing. So if you don't have 20 to play 9-man, there's your 6-man class. And then people don't get to choose if they go 9-man or 6.
Yeah.
It's just
I could see some coaches being a little bit with the attitude of no way I'm going to play 6-man football. We play 9-man football, or we play 11-man football. I'm not going to go down and play 6-man football, where if the numbers aren't there, I think that's an option that you should be looking at.
Okay, I'm with you on that. It's just an idea. There's a couple of things for you. Craig Maddox in tonight from SDPB Sports. By the way, speaking of 9-man football, we just saw this. There's a 7th grader that's going to be playing. 7th grader. So I made a question of the day today. Do we think 7th graders should play high school football? 7th graders.
Well, I remember when I was in 7th grade and I was a shrimp. Well, I still am a shrimp if you think about it. It'd be just a really big shrimp. I think it's dangerous for that because of at that age, and you're dealing with certainly high school, 10th, 11th, and 12th graders. The speed's going to be much different. The size factor, that one there, I'm not too much in favor of.
Yeah, I've seen a 7th grader play out here at STM years ago. He was a big kid, a great player. So he was big enough to do it. He didn't start, but he got in. I'm looking at this. I'm going 7th grader playing football. To me, Craig, that's different than playing, I don't know what, soccer, basketball. We've seen some 7th graders do that.
The physicality. Right. Yeah, the physicality is huge. I mean, I've seen freshmen start on the varsity level, and they can do that for the most part. But you get younger than that, I think they need a couple of more years of growth.
Okay, Craig Maddox on tonight. Let's go to some of the high school football games, or some of the teams. I'm looking at Pierre. They're trying to go for 8 championships in a row. If you had to pick today, would you say Pierre gets 8, or you're taking the 11 AA field?
Well, I got T area there. They're probably the second most interested in trying to knock them off. But until someone does knock him off, I got to stick with Pierre.
Oh, he's going the easy route. I was hoping he's going the easy route. Going with Pierre to win.
Do you want me to pick Huron?
No, they're They're not in the mix. Right. They're not in the mix. Okay. By the way, Pierre ranked number 1, Yankton number 2. They say this is the media poll. T area. You just mentioned him, number 3. Finally, Craig Maddock, the Vikings season hangs in the balance with Sam Darnold, and you're a season ticket holder, and you say what?
I say I'm okay with it because this is probably, it is the best offense and the best team that he's been on. It's going to have to be him now to prove that he was one of the top picks in the draft here, 4 years ago. I've seen I just saw him for one series at U.S. Bank Stadium, and he looked fine, but that's a lot different than once the regular season starts. But the chips are all in. All the chips are in for him.
All right, I'm with you on that. You're not going to trade for Russell Wilson? Trade?
No. Your Denver Broncos should try to get him back.
Don't go there. Bo Nix. Bo Leave, Craig. Bo Leave.
That's going to be exciting.
He was just named the starter. Another phrase for you. Let's Bo. Are you ready? Let's Bo. All right. Enough. Craig Maddock, SDPB Sports, back at it for the fall. As always, I appreciate the time.
Thanks for the time. See ya.
All right. Craig Maddock from Sioux Falls. East River meets West River weekly on the Nate Brown Show. Got to get that Sioux Falls perspective. Very important. Very important. We might get a little more Sioux Falls perspective here in the near future. Just a little heads up there. Good stuff today. I think we can make that change in high school football. That's not like a really hard thing to do, to have the state mandate 4 games. You got to play this. Here's 4, and now the schools, you get 4 to fill out your schedule. This is like college football. Here's kind of how they do it. Here's your conference games you're going to play, and then you guys get to do some money games. I mean, it's very similar. So fill out your schedule with the teams you want. That's how college does it. I don't know why we couldn't do that in South Dakota. Instead of the state says, here's your schedule, end of story. And it's like Douglas, they're not even playing STM. Why? I did STM Douglas games for years. By the way, Douglas not playing Belle-Fourche. Why? This is the type of stuff that doesn't make sense. It just doesn't make sense. Sturgis Spearfish always played STM. Always. What's the deal? Do we want to see Sturgis and Spearfish play Rapid City Christian? Well, of course. Rapid City Christian on the rise. Why not Spearfish Sturgis? It just doesn't make sense. Listener text coming in on the trips. Let's see. Nate, in the early 2000s, we made 9 trips east to Sioux Falls between football, wrestling, and track. It was brutal. 9 trips. Yeah, think about that. Rapid City Central is going to go 4 times just for football. Half of their schedule's to Sioux Falls. Stevens is going 3. They went 4 last year, Stevens did. So, that's just too much. Too much on the budgets. Nobody worries about that. There's like, well, just make it work. It's expensive. Our budget's got to cover the bus, the whole thing. We've got to figure out something a little better and then get better games, better budgets for the school. We can handle it a little bit. Players enjoy it more, get to stick around for schoolwork more. Those long trips, Fridays and missing school, the whole thing. That doesn't need to happen like that. Jeff Schwartz coming up. First time on the show, 8-year NFL player. Great career on the offensive line for the Giants. Jeff Schwartz, Fox Sports NFL analyst, going to appear on the show for the first time tonight. He's coming up. But first, 5 questions from Chris as we open up the drive at 5 next.
Did you miss an interview or great segment on The Nate Brown Show? Just find The Nate Brown Show podcast and listen wherever you download your podcasts.
Big news from Danny Menho Rapid Chevrolet. Shop over 300 used cars, trucks, and sport utilities and buy with no money down and make no payments for 90 days with qualified credit. All credit apps accepted. Shop the Black Hills' best selection of used cars, trucks, and SUVs, plus GM certified pre-owned. Choose from Chevys, GMCs, Rams, Fords, imports, and more. 300 of them you can buy with no down and no payments for 90 days. See us at Danny Menho Rapid Chevrolet or DannyMenhoRapidChevrolet.com.
Hi, it's Nate Brown for WeatherTight Exteriors. We all love the warm weather that summer brings to the Black Hills, but with that warm weather, we all know that storms can pop up and do some damage to our homes. That's actually just what happened to me. And when that happens, the company company you can count on is WeatherTight Exteriors. They've won Best of the Black Hills 5 years in a row. I'm working with them right now, and I'm 100% satisfied. When it comes to your home, work with someone you can count on. Learn more at weathertight.com. They'll stand behind their work.
KIMM Rapid City and K294BT Rapid City, the Black Hills Sports Station, 106.7 FM and 1150 AM, Fox Sports Rapid City.
Hi, this is David Brenneman with Coldwell Banker Black Hills Legacy in Rapid City. Have you thought about buying a home or real estate in the Black Hills? Maybe you want to upgrade to your forever home? I have been helping people in the Black Hills find the right home for nearly 20 years. When it comes to buying or selling, experience matters. Let me do the work, and you can open the door to your new home. Say hello to a good buy with me, David Brenneman. To get started, just Google David Brenneman, Coldwell Banker.
Building your Black Hills dream? Builder's First Source in Rapid City, Spearfish, and Hot Springs has you covered. Top quality materials, product expertise, all your building needs in one place for materials and services. Just stop in or start at BLDR.com. That's BLDR.com. Builder's First Source. Build it.
Hi, this is Dan Patrick. Remember to catch me weekday mornings from 7 until 10 a.m. right here on 106.7 FM and 1150 a.m. Fox Sports Rapid City. And now, back to Rapid City's sports talk show, The Nate Brown Show.
Hey, thanks for listening on a Wednesday. It's always a great day in the Black Hills. We know that. We're into the Drive at 5 on the Nate Brown Show, South Dakota Sports Talk Show. Glad you're here. Appreciate it. Jeff Schwartz coming up for the first time on this show. NFL player, 8 years in the league. Now Fox Sports NFL analyst. Jeff Schwartz on tap coming up. Wayne Sullivan later this hour. High school football coach. Wayne Sullivan, long career at STM. Talk some high school football with Wayne later this hour. All right, here we go on a Wednesday. Are we ready? Before Jeff Schwartz, we got to get to 5 questions from Chris. All right, here we go, Chris. What do you got today? Our loyal listener, Chris, puts in the work, and I'm going to give the best answers I can. Question number 1. Nate, you made it clear only fans of the Chiefs will be rooting for them to three-peat. If the Chiefs do, in fact, win 3 Super Bowls in a row, would it be more helpful for the legacy of Andy Reid over Bill Belichick or Patrick Mahomes as good as Tom Brady? It's a great question, Chris. That's why you do this, right? 5 questions from Chris. I think it's going to be more helpful to the legacy of Andy Reid. Andy Reid is not considered up there with Belichick to me yet. I mean, I think you could argue, well, look at what he's done. I think he gets another one like that, cementing what no team has done in the Super Bowl era, three-peat. No team has done it in the Super Bowl era. Andy Reid does that. Now he's in that conversation. I feel like the Bill Belichick thing, he's still up there. When the Patriots dynasty broke up and Brady left, it's kind of like, well, Belichick already has them. Look at all those Super Bowl 6. Boom. Andy Reid will get in that conversation. Patrick Mahomes, his career is great. He's not going to be passing Brady quite yet. Okay? Quite yet. Still a long way to go. Question number 2. That sports-only streaming app Venue was announced earlier, and the price came out $50 a month. Last week, a judge blocked the only rollout of that sports-only app. Do you think in a few years the typical cable bundle of channels will be outlawed as well? We'll have an a la carte system, or are we going to be stuck with the sports streaming apps and cable bundles? You're going to be stuck with the cable bundles. You're going to have the bundles still, and you're going to have all this streaming, Chris. You're going to have all this streaming, so you better just add it up. I don't even add it up anymore. I'm running out of money. I don't even add it up anymore. Just get this streaming, that streaming. What do I need? What else do I need? I have everything. You're going to be stuck. You're going to have TV, and you're going to have all this streaming. You're going to have it. That's what you got. That's it. Question number 3. Nate, the Huskers haven't had a winning season since 2016. If they finish 6-6 or 7-5 go to a bowl game, will it be called a good improvement? Or if they don't make a bowl, do you think the fans will demand another coaching change? No, I don't think so. If the Huskers can't get to, I'm going to say 8 wins this year, 8-4, I think people are, it's a disappointment because the schedule is great. The best I've seen since the Scott Frost thing. I mean, really. And so they should get to 8 wins, I think. That's doable. So if you don't make a bowl, they're not going to fire Matt Rule, right? Right? No. Question number 4. Speaking of the Huskers, they're remodeling the Memorial Stadium south end zone. In doing so, the stadium seating is reduced by nearly 23,000 seats. New capacity is about 75,000, down from 90,000. Is this a result of not good football by the Huskers and not having enough fans, or about more people attending the games wanting comfort and amenities? No, I don't think it's anything about the sellout streak. The sellout streak's outstanding, Chris. I mean, that's Husker Nation. I mean, it's just unbelievable. It's one of the great things about Husker fans. They're with you. It is about stadium remodel down there. It's about amenities. A lot of stadiums are doing this now. Even War Memorial over at Wyoming, they just did a new remodel as well. They took down a bunch of capacity. It's not about the tickets. It's about donors, sponsors, amenities. That's what it's about. Question number 5. 5 questions from Chris. Shohei Ohtani could be the MVP of the National League if his batting stays on its current pace. Do you think the Dodgers will try to convince Ohtani this offseason into giving up on being a two-way player and just focus on being the best hitter in baseball? Ohtani's on his way to 40-40. 40 stolen bases, 40 home runs, 40-40. That would be only the 6th player in Major League Baseball history to do that. He's got plenty of time. 6th player in history to be 40-40. Is he going to be a one-way guy? I don't think yet. They're going to talk to him this offseason about giving up pitching? Not yet. They'll let him come back from this injury, Chris. That's my guess. They'll let Ohtani come back. Then if we have another problem, he doesn't have the velocity, he doesn't have what he had, you'll see Ohtani eventually on this long-term deal with the Dodgers just be a hitter. But not yet. 5 questions from Chris in the books. And Jeff Schwartz, Fox Sports NFL analyst, former NFL offensive lineman, joins me live next.
Live callers, big-time interviews, and breaking sports news. This is the Nate Brown Show on Fox Sports Rapid City.
The incredible Renewal by Anderson Dog Days of Summer Sale is here, and I will sit up and shake for this one. It's the best offer ever for new windows and doors. Please listen to this. You get 20% off, an additional 5% off if purchased on the initial consultation. No payments for 24 months, 2 whole years, no payments. Please visit RBARapidCity.com. Call today. Schedule your free in-home consultation. Don't wait. This deal ends August 31st. 2 years, no payments. That's doggone awesome.
We are number 1. So you can always be their number 1. Black Hills Surgical Hospital and Black Hills Orthopedic and Spine Center. The number 1 hospital in the nation for major orthopedic surgery.
As a business owner now, Black Hills Tire has an interesting motto: 1 car, 1 customer, 1 opportunity at a time.
We just want to portray that every person that comes in, we're going to give you our undivided attention. You're not a number to us.
Every single individual customer, every single individual thing we do for that customer is what makes us.
Yeah.
Every time you come into our store, this time, next time, the time after that, every single one is an individual chance for us to earn your trust. Check us out at blackhillstire.com.
Here's your Fox Sports Rapid City forecast. A severe thunderstorm watch continues. Slight chance of thunderstorms tonight, otherwise partly cloudy skies. Lows level off around 64. South winds 8 to 15 miles per hour. Daytime highs approaching 90. Tomorrow, mainly sunny skies. Mainly cloudy skies expected. Tomorrow night, lows dip down to about 65. That's your forecast on the Black Hills Sports Station, Fox Sports Rapid City. Right now, $85.
Elkhorn Ridge Golf Club in Spearfish invites you for the best golfing experience that South Dakota has to offer. Elkhorn Ridge has been ranked by Golf Digest as the #1 public course in the state. Off exit 17 in Spearfish, Elkhorn Ridge offers an 18-hole championship layout with breathtaking views and an experience second to none. South Dakota's #1 public golf course is right in your backyard. Book a tee time and hit the course at Elkhorn Ridge. Visit elkhornridgeresort.com.
Need somewhere to go for a quick bite to eat for lunch? Murphy's has you covered with a half sandwich and soup lunch special, plus daily specials to get you fueled up and ready for the rest of the day. Meet and eat for lunch at Murphy's, a Rapid City icon.
Live from the Anytime Auto Sales Service and Details Studio, sales, service, and recreation, this is Fox Sports Rapid City.
All right, welcome back on Fox Sports Rapid City, the Nate Brown Show. In tonight, as always, 4 to 6, we're live in the Drive at 5, brought to you by Summit Automotive Group, our longtime partners, the best place for pre-owned selection, and really the best car buying experience. That's the difference. There's places to get pre-owned cars, but they get the right selection, and then it's car buying built around you from start to finish at Summit. Start on your phone, take a look at what they have. Quality pre-owned at summitautogrp.com. Start there. All right, I'm excited about our next guest. You hear him a lot on Fox Sports. Jeff Schwartz, 8-year NFL offensive lineman, Fox Sports NFL analyst. Find him on X, Twitter, at Jeff Schwartz. And he's here on the Nate Brown Show. Jeff, good to have you on. How are you?
Good, thanks for having me.
Well, I appreciate you hopping on, man. I appreciate your coverage. I want to break down some preseason. Let me start with a couple of things. So, Broncos, Sean Payton, not a surprise to me. I'm a Broncos fan. Give you a heads up on this. So a lot of Broncos fans in this area. Sean Payton goes with Bo Nix. I'm not surprised. He names him the starter today. I'm going to ask you, as you kind of break film down, you look at these things, how can we tell if Bo Nix is good? You said, hey, let's look at some of these rookies. Can you tell anything right now?
Well, I think what you take away from the preseason is whether or not it looks like it should, right? So, for example, last game the Broncos played the Packers, right? And the Packers did not seem to care very much about the game. It was very clear. So, Bo Nix should play well. And he played well, correct? Like, that's what you should do. If you are the 11th pick or 12th pick in the draft and you're the starting quarterback and you have game plan for the week and it's tailored in offense to you, like, that's what it should look like. It looked like it should, and that to me is a positive because we see other quarterbacks where they get in a game, it doesn't look like it should, right? So to me, that's the first sign that, okay, Bo Nix is going in the right direction. I also thought interesting, even in game one, how the offense seemed very tailored to Bo Nix already. The quarterback runs the RPOs, things he's good at, where, you might not expect that to happen so soon in a young player's career, especially because Sean Payton has not run that offense before. That's not what he's done in the past. And so I thought that's a good sign that Sean Payton sort of already trusts him in his offense to put in place specifically for him. But in the end, like every player, we won't know till they play a full season, right? There's going to be parts of the year when it's a little bit rougher than other parts. That's part of being a rookie. But I think so far you have to be excited with what you've seen.
How much harder, Jeff, do you think it is just I go up against the Packers backups to the #1 starting D against Seattle in a few weeks?
Oh, it's hard. It was easy. It would get done with more fluid. It's hard because they're gonna game plan you, right? The Packers obviously did not game plan very much in that game. It's hard to say, to be honest, exactly like how much more hard it is, how much harder. It's going to be difficult, right? It's a whole different game. Starters are playing, there's game planning. But look, Bo Nix has started, over 60 games in college, so he knows what it's like to prepare each week. He knows what it's like when you're facing, someone who is preparing for you. So I think he'll be fine, but it is very different. But he's thinking about Seattle, too. I mean, you don't know what they're going to do because they have a new coach. Now, you can study what he did in Baltimore, but does he have the same players to run that stuff in Seattle? So I think there's a little bit of unknown with the coach there as well that might throw a little wrench in the game planning.
Jeff Schwartz on the Nate Brown Show tonight here on Fox Sports Rapid City. Fox Sports NFL analyst, 8-year NFL offensive lineman. Let's go to a couple other rookies. Caleb Williams. Is he in a good situation in Chicago? Are you a buyer of the Bears roster?
Oh, I'm a buyer of Caleb Williams, and you add him to possibly the best roster we've seen a rookie quarterback go to with the first pick overall. I mean, it's up and down a very good roster. I think you sort of saw the same things where he played well against the competition he should have. We saw some of the flashes that we had seen over the years at USC in Chicago. He's going to be good, man. He is, he's a rookie. Not going to be that easy. I know people think it is, but when you put the defense with him, the running backs, the wide receivers, and he's got, Rome Odunze on most teams is the number one. He's number 3 as a rookie. That's wild. A lot of teams are in that situation where they can afford to draft a guy 9th overall wide receiver, and he'd be their 3. We saw New York and Neighbors. He's their 1. Marvin Harrison is the 1 in Arizona. So it's pretty impressive that they have that roster set up for him.
Okay, you said if it looks like it should, things should be okay. What do you think it really looks like in Pittsburgh? Russell Wilson says he's playing this weekend. What does it look like there?
Looks bad. There's a thing in the NFL where coaches they're arrogant, right? It's part of it. I don't blame the Steelers. It's normal. You think to yourself, I can fix this player, right? Once they get into my system, they're going to be different. 2 games so far, and the Steelers tried against Buffalo. They started their starters, they game planned, and Russell Wilson looks exactly like he's always looked, at least the last 3 years, right? Justin Fields gets in there, shows some athleticism, but also misses a wide-open wide receiver that should have been a touchdown. And that's what he's done in his career in Chicago. Russell Wilson, the second he sees any color in his face, right, any defender in his face, he's throwing that ball ASAP. Now, it's not all their fault. The offensive line wasn't great with Wilson, but they're just, both of them combined are not a good quarterback room, and I think it's going to be a tough year for Pittsburgh. I know that they win a lot. They keep this 500 streak alive. It feels like it's coming to an end this year.
Jeff Schwartz on a couple more. I'll let him run. Fox Sports analyst, 8-year NFL offensive lineman. Follow him. Good follow on X at Jeff Schwartz here on the Nate Brown Show. A lot of Vikings fans out here too, Jeff. So J.J. McCarthy's out. That was a hitter. I didn't think they said maybe he wasn't going to start anyway. So Sam Darnold's the guy. Can Sam Darnold be good with this skill players around him? Aaron Jones, Justin Jefferson, T.J. Hawkinson. Can Sam Darnold, is he in the best spot he's been in?
Probably the best spot he's been in, but this is his 4th team, if I'm correct, or 5th team, right? 4th or 5th team, right? Jets, Panthers, Niners, and then Vikings, so maybe it's 4th team. In like 5 seasons. Again, sort of what I mentioned with Wilson and and Fields, like you sort of know what Darnold is right now. You hope that you supplement that with Jefferson and Jones, as you mentioned, the offensive line and sort of the defense. But he is what he is at this point. He's not going to change. Maybe you get the most of him and you feel good about some of that, but like he's just not the same player that he's the same player that he's always been. I don't think it changes much of their success this year. I think that they wanted McCarthy to play at some point this season. They drafted him high enough, obviously, to feel that way. It's a bummer he can't do it this year, but I don't think that it's a Sam Darnold renaissance season.
Okay, I want to. What's your read on the NFC North then? If you had to say today, do the Lions win the NFC North?
I would probably say yes to that, but the Packers last year were super young, and we saw last year sort of just what happens naturally in football. If you're good, you just get better as the year goes on. It would not surprise me if the Packers developed a little bit more and were able to kind of just win the division this year. They have a very talented team. We often see with division winners, it's quite simple. The division winner is a team with the best quarterback in the division. Now, in a given year, like Jared Goff last year was better than, let's say, Kirk Cousins, But, again, like that, it's not that hard to pick division winners. And if you think Jordan Love is the best quarterback in that division, and certainly some do, then I think he's the division winner.
Jeff Schwartz on tonight. Let's go to the Cowboys. They're negotiating with CeeDee Lamb 2 weeks out from the opener. What do you think of that scenario? Negotiating star player, it hasn't been great. What do you think of just that scenario with CeeDee Lamb trying to get a new deal?
Doesn't the Cowboys always do this to themselves, right? Where, like, they could have done this in the offseason. They could have got themselves out of these situations, but they put themselves in these situations all the time with the sort of lack of kind of the foresight of what's to come. And it's just like, it's silly. Like, they should have the situation buttoned up before the season starts. I think there's a lot of them that thinks, if we go 12-5 again and don't win a playoff game, are we running this back next year? I think a lot of their decision process about paying Dak, paying CeeDee Lamb, paying Micah Parsons is all about that idea. Is, are we locking ourselves into this roster if we can't win any playoff games?
I think that's fair, man. And you look at it, you go, does CeeDee Lamb rank up there with Justin Jefferson to you, Jeff?
No. And Justin Jefferson's deal, though, we have to remind ourselves, is not really a wide receiver deal, right? His deal was the second highest paid player, or highest non-quarterback, right, in the NFL. And so that is, I'm sure CD is like, I want that money. And the Cowboys are like, yeah, we're not prepared to do that for you right now. So, that dynamic certainly makes it interesting. But no, he's not Justin Jefferson. And look, the way the contracts go, though, it's like next man up. It doesn't mean you're better, right? We see these quarterback deals. The next guy up gets paid. No one's better than Mahomes, but it's just that's the way that it works in the NFL.
Jeff Schwartz on tonight. I know you're a college football guy. Did I see you're playing college football, EA Sports 2025? Did I see that?
I am, yeah. I just actually finished playing my son for the first time. I play on Heisman because I'm good. He played on varsity. He was Oregon. I was Texas State.
Okay.
I threw 9 interceptions.
Ouch.
I don't know how. Like, I play on Heisman on my own, like when I'm playing by myself.
So you're.
I don't know how I threw 9 interceptions and fumbled twice. He scored 40 points in the third quarter on me.
Ouch. You sound like a player, but your son sounds better.
I don't know. I won the championship as the OC of the Cal Bears. My team was rated 80. It's pretty good.
Okay, I like it.
I'll take it.
I like that.
Yeah. It's been a lot of fun. I didn't think it'd be this fun. Quite honest, I didn't expect it. I think they expect to enjoy this as much as I have.
Okay, I love that. I'm still debating. Do I get it? Okay, I haven't played video games in 12 years, but I'm still debating.
I didn't either, but I started playing now. Obviously, the thing about it is, like, when football starts in earnest, I'm going to have less time to play, obviously. So by now, you might have missed your opportunity.
I'm with you. 8-year NFL offensive lineman. He's great to have on Fox Sports, NFL college football analyst. Find him on X at Jeff Schwartz. In tonight on the Nate Brown Show. Jeff, thanks for the time. We really appreciate it.
Thanks for having me. Take care.
Appreciate it. Jeff Schwartz on tonight. 8-year NFL offensive lineman. Good stuff. He's a Fox Sports NFL college football analyst. Jeff Schwartz on in the drive at 5 here on the Nate Brown Show. Let's go back to high school and get a perspective from a coach. Long time St. Thomas More head coach, Wayne Sullivan. See, he's a former coach. Now I get to talk to Wayne about all sorts of stuff. We don't just have to talk about, the coach speak. I get to ask him all sorts of stuff, and we'll do that next.
This is the Nate Brown Show.
The incredible Renewal by Anderson Dog Days of Summer Sale is here, and I will sit up and shake for this one. It's the best offer ever for new windows and doors. Please listen to this. You get 20% off, an additional 5% off if purchased on the initial consultation. No payments for 24 months, 2 whole years, no payments. Please visit RBARapidCity.com. Call today. Schedule your free in-home consultation. Don't wait. This deal ends August 31st. 2 years, no payments. That's doggone awesome.
We are number one. So you can always be their number one. Black Hills Surgical Hospital and Black Hills Orthopedic and Spine Center. The number one hospital in the nation for major orthopedic surgery.
Ever since Barron's Wilson Funeral Home first opened their doors in Rapid City 140 years ago, they have continued to make personal service their number one priority. In your time of grief, they offer a personal touch by being at your side through every step of the funeral process. They answer difficult questions and guide you toward other professional services you may need. See for yourself the wide variety of services they can provide for you by visiting their website at barronswilson.com.
Hi, I'm Bill at Wirefree USA. If you're looking for internet, TV, security systems, or cell booster systems, why would you look at a company that only gives you one choice for each of these systems? Wirefree USA offers it all. Viasat, Hughes, CenturyLink, Dish TV, DirecTV, Wilson Cell Booster Systems, Ring and Google Nest Security Systems, and now Elon Musk's Starlink. Starlink is the newest, the fastest, the strongest, no limit, that's right, no limit, and no contract satellite internet ever made available to all of us in the USA. 605-341-5361. Whatever your home or business needs are, call Wirefree USA for the products and the service. It's a no-brainer. Connect to the future with Wirefree USA at 605-341-5361, 680 North La Crosse Street, Rapid City. We are hometown, we are South Dakota, and we do appreciate your business. 605-341-5361.
Hi, folks. Kevin McPherson, McPherson Auction Company. This weekend is our large annual Cool Deadwood Nights Classic Car Auction. 3 big days. Thursday, 1 o'clock in the afternoon. Friday and Saturday, 9 o'clock each morning. That is right. The classic cars and memorabilia at the Deadwood Mountain Grand, Deadwood, South Dakota. If you're unable to attend the auction, you can follow us online and simulcast bidding available. For more details and to bid and buy, go to McPhersonAuction.com.
Hey, it's Chris Broussard. Remember to catch the Odd Couple weeknights from 6 to 8 p.m. right here on Fox Sports Rapid City. And now, let's get back to Rapid City Sports Talk Show, The Nate Brown Show.
It is South Dakota Sports Talk Show. Welcome in. Thanks for listening. Good stuff tonight. Jeff Schwartz joined us moments ago. First time on the show for Jeff, 8-year NFL offensive lineman. Played for the Giants. He's now Fox Sports NFL college football analyst. Good stuff with Jeff Schwartz. We'll try and get him back throughout the season. Craig Maddock on earlier tonight. East River meets West River Weekly. Little Sioux Falls action with Craig tonight, talking high school sports. The Nate Brown Show podcast always available, so if you miss any parts of the show, any guests, you can listen to it anytime. Go to Apple, Spotify, Amazon, wherever you get your podcast, search The Nate Brown Show, and then you've got every show right there. We'll put this show up tonight. The Nate Brown Show, driven by Spearfish Motors. A reminder, that's your home for the new 2024 GMCs and Cadillacs. Great lineup still there at Spearfish Motors, 1910 North Main in Spearfish, locally owned. Spearfish GMC Cadillac, your home for the new Cadillac Escalade. Great financing on them right now. SpearfishMotors.com. Start there, SpearfishMotors.com. Take a look. All right, longtime high school football coach Wayne Sullivan back on the show. It's high school football season, and Coach Sullivan back on tonight. Coach, good to have you. How are you?
Hey, I'm doing great, Nate. Thanks for having me, man. There's nothing better than the start of high school football.
I believe that. So let me ask you, you've been doing work in the summer. I've seen you out there. You're doing some football training. Why'd you decide to do that? Has that kind of, gave you something that, well, I'm not coaching anymore, but I still got to do this?
Well, for over 20 years, I've been running little guys camps, and you know, I don't know how to explain it, but coaching's in my blood, and I just wanted to keep on doing it, and I wanted West River football to improve and keep improving. And so when I went back to doing the Elite Football Academy, you know, I had a lot of kids from all the high schools here around in town, and I was really excited about how hard they worked and how dedicated they were. And it's, again, just love coaching, love trying to get our guys better and so that we can compete better for West River.
Wayne Sullivan on tonight, longtime high school football coach. I'm going to ask you about a couple of things that have been on my mind here and get your perspective on it. You were an administrator, you were a coach, a longtime coach. So I'm going to ask you, I looked at our scheduling, and this is all teams, but the state has the schedule. They sent it to you guys when you're at STM, and they said, hey, here's who you're playing. And a lot of times I think it's fine. You had the Black Hills Conference, and you had some good games. The scheduling is controlled by the state. They're trying to fill out the schedule for teams that maybe can't get games, is what I've heard over the years. But I'm looking at some of these schedules, Coach. Douglas isn't playing STM. Douglas isn't playing Bell. Sturgis and Spearfish aren't playing Rapid City Christian or STM. So I'm looking at some of these going, man, it seems like these regional games would help if the schools were able to maybe schedule maybe half of their season. What do you think about school scheduling football?
Well, yeah, I think that's something that we talked about a long time ago, and I think you hit it on the head right now with some of the games you just mentioned. What amazing rivalries that you could have with teams that are 30 minutes, 10 minutes apart. And some of those, that's their biggest gate and their biggest crowd. I think that's one of the things that the state should look at all the rival games, at least over here, and make sure that those games are scheduled first. Because I even know the first schedule they put out, they didn't have any of the bowl games, the Rushmore Bowl, Dakota Bowl.
Right.
I mean, so I do think the schools should have a say. Why can they schedule all the basketball games? Why are they allowed to do that? But football, it's all handcuffed as far as coaches when you get your schedule.
Okay, I look at it and say, would it work doing half? Like, maybe you got to say, hey, you got to play a certain level of AA, or you got to play a certain level of AAA, like Stevens Central. They're not going to be able to schedule all of their games. Could you go like college football? Hey, you got a conference schedule, and then you pick your non-conference. So, hey, here's 4 from the state, and then fill out your schedule with 4 more.
Yeah, I think that would be a great suggestion, a great start. I think that would then help teams, like I said, make sure you keep your rival games, keep games that are close in proximity for your families. And I totally understand, unfortunately, the AAA where you have a limited amount of teams, but you look at some of those other ones in 11B, 11A, and even AA. I mean, you took away some games that were very important.
Wayne Sullivan, on longtime high school football coach here on the Nate Brown Show, talking high school football. I just saw this. 7th graders going to be playing high school football, East River. Small program, small school. They need all the numbers they can get. A 7th grader's going to play. I remember back in the day, I think you had a 7th grader back in the day. Now, 7th grader, that's young. What do you say about a 7th grader?
Well, always when I looked at the 7th and 8th graders, first and foremost was, can they handle the physicality? And if they could, then where do you play them and how specifically do you play them? But, I can understand with a smaller team, smaller program, or smaller town, if those are what you have and they can give you some minutes or some reps, by all means. I've always had 8th graders start. I've had 7th grader. And if they can handle it, now I always went and talked to the family first, made sure they got their permission. But if that's something that they can handle, by all means.
Okay, so you think it depends really on the player and the family?
Definitely. Oh, yes. I mean, you got to look at what position they're playing. You got to look at if they can handle it, what's their maturity level. And so, you get those special kids every once in a while that can do that. I mean, I remember even Douglas had a 7th grader starting. I know we had a 7th grader starting. And so, yeah, it just all depends on what you have, obviously, for numbers. But then if that student can't handle it or it's not ready, then you don't want to push them.
Wayne Sullivan on tonight, high school football longtime coach, and I want to get your read on like Stevens and Central. They're traveling over 2,000 miles. The Central goes back to Sioux Falls 4 times. Stevens goes back to Sioux Falls 3 times. Do you think those trips impact wins and losses at all?
100%. 100% that they impact it. And again, I understand that there's not very many schools in that level, but I still think, even over here at East River, I think they can find Wyoming teams that are even closer. I think they can find Nebraska teams like they did back in the day, and then Sioux Falls can find Omaha, Iowa. I mean, I think there's a way that you can still make that schedule work to where you're not traveling 2,000 miles.
By the way, what do you think? Some of these teams this year, Hot Springs wins the state title. You did your battle back in the day for every year. You had some great games. Hot Springs wins the state championship and has to open up with Winter. What do you think? Yeah. It's hard to bounce back to back. I know Coach Kramer has some guys, but lost some good talent.
Well, Kramer's done a great job with making a program. I mean, those kids have bought in, and you can just see that every year. I mean, they're sustaining it. They're competing. And, I have no doubt that Kramer's going to field a great team again. And what a better way to test your first week coming out against Winter. And, again, there's another program that just reloads every year. That's what's exciting about some of these small towns on how they've just built things and how they can compete year in and year out. Okay,
Rapid City Christian goes up to 11A. Coach, think about this. You were kind of on that similar path. STM, really small school. Then you guys went 11B. Then you went 11A. Then went back to 11B. So Christian was 9-man just 3 years ago. Then they go 11B. Now they jump up 11A. Do you think there's a big difference there between B and A? There's some parity. Is there a big difference?
Well, I can tell you this, in all the years that we did B and went A and everything, if you're one of the top 4 teams in B, you're going to be able to compete at the A level. And again, every once in a while, some of those A teams are really good, like the Pastel Rapids and the West Centrals. But I believe, the top 4 B teams could usually compete with the upper tier of the 11A. So I think Christian, they did it right. They grew. Their numbers are getting better. McIntosh, again, has done a great job out there at Rapid City Christian, and he's got some great athletes coming back. This is actually a good year for them to go A.
Okay, how do you like that schedule? Canton, Sioux Falls Christian, Del Rapids, 1, 2, 3.
Yeah, I asked Coach McIntosh, I said, I wonder if anybody over there got angry at him for the 3 that they have. But, again, you're going to get your feet wet right away and see what you got to work on. And not a bad 3 games. That way you can get better by the playoffs. And but, again, it's even tough that. I mean, for them having to travel a couple times, or even those teams coming out, they're going to find out, oh, my gosh, this is quite the trip to come all the way out to West River, because contrary to popular belief, it's the same distance from East River here than it is from here to East River.
That is right. Last one for longtime head coach Wayne Sullivan. I'm thinking I'm going to see your son. We're going to see your son out there tossing it around for Stevens. He got some experience last year. What's it look like for him?
He's very excited. The coaching staff, getting to know the new head coach, Patrick Town. He's been really good. And as far as the boys, they've been working hard. They had some makeup to do. But they feel really good coming together, and he's excited. He really is. They've put in a lot of work, and he's a lot stronger this year. And, yeah, it was a little eye-opening going from 11B to AAA, but I think he's ready.
I look forward to the season. We'll get you on throughout it. Wayne Sullivan back on as high school football gets going. Coach, thanks for hopping on.
Nate, I appreciate it, buddy. Anytime we can talk football.
All right, Wayne Sullivan in tonight, runs his elite football academy in the summer, and longtime head football coach, of course, at St. Thomas More. Wayne Sullivan in tonight, talking high school football as we're underway with 9-man and 11B this week. 9-man and 11B. We're going to start our coverage Friday night. We'll have Wall and Phillip. We're doing a 9-man game, one 9-man game a year. We tried to do that. Why don't we start with it? That's a great one. Wall and Phillip coming up Friday, so we'll do it live on Fox Sports Rapid City this week, a couple of days away. Coming back with who's hot and who's not. This just came out. College basketball story. You're like, what? College basketball. Now, this just came out. Which basketball program do coaches say has the most NIL money? They did a survey of 100 coaches in college basketball, and all of the coaches voted which program has the most cash to pay the players. We'll tell you what the coaches said next.
This is South Dakota's Sports Talk Show, The Nate Brown Show, on FoxSportsRapidCity.com and live on 106.7 FM and 1150 AM. Fox Sports Rapid City.
Save big money on your next tiling project now at Menards. Complete your tiling job with professional quality installation materials from Tech. We carry high-quality Tech mortar and grout for all floor and wall tile sizes. Sturdy Flex mortar for floors offers steady, reliable bonding performance. On sale through August 25th. Save big money on Tech mortar and grout at Menards and check out our weekly flyer on Menards.com for all the great deals happening now.
Save big money at Menards.
Pops Tire Service is your low-price headquarters for all major tire brands. We buy tires, manufacture direct, and sell to you for less. Right now, get up to $265 in rebates on Goodyear, up to $160 in rebates on Bridgestone, or up to $150 in rebates on Firestone. Pops Tire won't be undersold. Hurry, offer ends August 31st. See store for details. Visit us online at popstire.com. Pops, we know tires and service. You should know Pops.
Live from the Anytime Auto Sales Service and Details Studio. Sales, service, and recreation. This is Fox Sports Rapid City.
All right, fun show tonight. Thanks for listening. As always, we're back tomorrow on a Thursday. Jimmy Rogers is going to make an appearance on the Nate Brown Show. Head coach, South Dakota State football. Your home for the Jackrabbits is Fox Sports Rapid City. Head coach Jimmy Rogers on live tomorrow. And a lot more. Thursday happy hour with Rob Kegron in studio. Rob's back and we're ready to go. That's tomorrow. Who's hot and who's not tonight? Brought to you by the Pizza Ranch. PizzaRanch.com. Carry-out delivery specials right now. The best in Rapid City. The best buffet open until 8 tonight, so you can go to the Pizza Ranch buffet. It's been hot. You don't want to warm up the house, cook anything, so go to the Pizza Ranch buffet or order up. The best fried chicken out there. PizzaRanch.com. 2 locations here in Rapid City. Who's hot category? Here's a poll out from the college basketball coaches. They surveyed 100 coaches in college basketball. They asked them, which college basketball program has the most NIL cash to pay the players? So the coaches talk amongst themselves. This guy has this guy has that. So this is the coaches, anonymous. Number 1 program with the most NIL money, Arkansas. New head coach John Calipari. I wonder if that goes together. Interesting. So 74% of coaches voted Arkansas has the most money. 43% coming in second said Kansas. 31% said BYU. BYU has a lot of NIL. And in the top 5, Kentucky at number 4. Calipari left there, of course. And number 5, Indiana. I'm sitting here going down the list. Where are my Dukies? Oh, what about the Dukies? The Dukies, way down on the list. 8% of coaches said Duke has a good NIL situation. Well, that explains a lot. Anyway, in our Pizza Ranch Who's Not category, we'll stay in basketball. Sorry, guys, it's Anthony Edwards, Minnesota Timberwolves. He was just quoted in the Wall Street Journal. They talked about the growth and the skill and how the NBA is different. Here's Anthony Edwards in the Wall Street Journal. They say it was tougher back then in the NBA than it is now, but I don't think anybody had skill back then. Michael Jordan was the only one that really had skill. Is that right? He says, now everybody has skill. Well, let's see. Michael Jordan. Has Anthony Edwards heard of Magic Johnson? Let's see. Isaiah Thomas? Let's see. Hakeem Olajuwon? I mean, do we want to go on? Michael Jordan was the only one that really had skill, but now everybody has skill. Anthony, take a seat. Take a seat. Back tomorrow at 4. Thanks for listening to the Nate Brown Show. We're in the books, and we're back tomorrow. Jimmy Rogers and more, South Dakota State head coach. Looking forward to it. Thanks for listening. The Nate Brown Show podcast going up right now.
Live from the TireRack.com studios of Fox Sports Radio.